So how could you include Amanita microdosing in a therapeutic setting? That's what I'll be talking about on this video. Everyone's looking for new hacks and new ways to improve their mental health, and this is just one of those things that just hasn't been discovered yet. So let's get right into it. So lots of people in our world are seeking help, and they're seeking therapy, and they're seeking treatment, and it's a very common thing that people stay stuck in that search for healing for a long time, and sometimes their whole life. And that's not okay. We should be providing solutions for people that need help. I believe that since our system is so focused on making money, that actually we don't really have a medical system that supports mental health. SSRIs and psychiatric medications don't actually heal people. They don't really treat emotions, and they actually make it harder as a therapist to do your job. Because if someone's on one of these medications, it numbs their feelings, which means you can't bring them up and work with them because they're being blocked by the medication. The reason that Amanita would be an excellent additive to a therapeutic setting is that it helps to bring up emotions and bring them up in a stable, clear, and calm way. It allows you to have a clear state of mind that makes it very easy to express and to talk about things that are deep and that are meaningful. I will be very clear and honest when I say that when I was on psychiatric drugs, I was not able to feel love. I was only able to conceptualize it and define it as a word. But I wasn't able to have that as an experience. And that's a really big problem for people. Because if you can't access and open your feelings, how can you deal with them? So from a therapeutic perspective, it makes a lot of sense to try to use something to help people get into the zone of therapy when they're coming into a session with you. I mean, if they're going to spend the money and the time to try to work on themselves, why not create the environment for them internally that can do that? And for most people, they're coming out of days that are so stressful, their lives are so chaotic, that they really need something to slow down and almost force them to slow down. I'll give you personal experience from my own microdose coaching class. So I offer classes where I have people take a microdose of Amanita, and they also do certain meditative practices. Engaging with people that are on a microdose of Amanita tends to be a whole lot easier to really get to the source of the problem, because Amanita gives you mental clarity. It gives you this sort of open headspace that's very calm and peaceful. Amanita at a microdose level has the effect of giving you mental clarity, inner peace, and a more firm and clear command over your perceptions and your emotions. It makes it a lot easier to dive into deep work with people when they are on a microdose of Amanita. So how could you include microdosing with Amanita into a therapeutic setting? To start off with, I'll explain that I spent many years through traditional therapy and lots of other work with psychologists in different areas like EMDR, and doing some more advanced treatments. And what I'll say is that Amanita is able to open up the emotions in a certain way that makes everything feel really clear, like crystal clear and just open. And that by itself gives such an easy pathway to talking about emotion and letting things come to the surface and be processed. And this is really the magic of Amanita. So the magic of Amanita really comes from its ability to give you a clear state of mind that makes you feel at peace, where you feel very clear, very calm, and very centered and grounded. Now, this feeling gives you additionally the ability to bring up emotions without having so much turmoil around them. In other words, it's easier to bring up your emotions when you're on Amanita. There is a common phenomena that is experienced with everyone who takes Amanita, which is that there is this sense of feeling like your emotions just get lightened. And many people will go to sleep and wake up in the morning having lots of strange dreams throughout the night, and they'll just feel like lighter, like they've had something lifted from them. And what is actually happening here is that Amanita is going into your memories and alleviating the trauma around certain memories, meaning it alleviates the heavy feeling, the painful weight of suffering that comes with certain traumatic memories. So in psychology, they've known forever that the subconscious mind really is the house of all emotion and all trauma. It's really what you need to be able to get access to heal somebody. And there aren't any reliable or effective techniques that are known of how to do this. And what I would like to propose to you is that Amanita can actually do this for you without you really having to do anything. Essentially what it's doing is it's making your subconscious more on the surface, yet presenting it to you in a way that is easy to handle and feels comfortable. Through the way in which Amanita gently brings things up with you, it's very easy to process the emotions of the memories that are coming up, and this creates an optimal therapeutic environment. Aside from its ability to help us sleep better, Amanita really is quite magical for emotions and for healing from trauma. So by giving people this sort of gentle space where they can open up, their emotions are clear, they're not overwhelmed, they feel like they can gently and confidently feel whatever they feel, this is really the best environment for therapy. So this is why I would recommend Amanita to therapists. By being able to access the subconscious and somehow heal it, it does actually alleviate subconscious trauma. This is one of the hardest things to do in psychology, that we still have really no answers of how to really do it. But Amanita seems to be able to do it without any effort. You just take it and it does it on its own. I myself had very severe CPTSD and had very difficult time communicating with other people and expressing emotions and talking about emotions before I discovered Amanita. So for anyone dealing with a lot of anxiety or who's kind of feeling overwhelmed, this is really the best thing that they can try, not even to mention the fact that it dramatically improves sleep. So I've had clients that came to me measuring their REM sleep prior to Amanita at around 15 to 25 minutes a night. And after Amanita, they're getting 90 minutes a night. And this is a common occurrence. Virtually everyone who takes Amanita as a microdose will immediately get a dramatically increased REM sleep, which is really important for emotional processing and obviously for healing the body and the mind and all of the emotions. So aside from the mental health benefits, it does improve sleep significantly, and I believe that this is a tool that should be used more in therapy, especially for people who are dealing with a lot of trauma and anxiety. So essentially, by microdosing with Amanita, you're giving your clients the ability to come into a state that is more peaceful and more calm, so that they can actively engage with you and use the time well. Because what reflects on you as a therapist is the results that your client gets. And if they can't find a way to open up and to really express what they need to express, they're going to stop working with you. They're going to stop trying to heal. So using every tool that you can use to help them, to bring them to a place where they can open up, is really important. There's one other significant benefit to Amanita that might interest you, which is that for people that want to come off of SSRIs or other psychiatric drugs, because of the way that Amanita works to relax the nervous system, it will help them to get through the withdrawal symptoms. And I experienced this myself. When a person is going through withdrawal, they experience a lot of irritability, a lot of difficulty sleeping, and difficulty concentrating. So Amanita actually helps all three of these. It helps to bring the nervous system back into balance and can really help someone get through their withdrawal period as they're coming off of their SSRI. Now, if you'd like to try an Amanita microdose product, what I would recommend is either trying my Amanita Warriors tincture, which is alcohol-free, or you could try the dialed product from EONS.com. I will leave descriptions and links down below, and make sure you check out the coupon codes to get yourself 20% off.